You probably don't think that one question can improve all of your games. That's fair. But in the last 4 years, I've run over 1,000 games of Dungeons & Dragons, and I can tell you that this one question and its 5-step framework have helped me countless times. To judge if it would help you, let me ask you this. Do your games ever drag on, particularly in combat? With question after question followed by hemming and hawing as either you or your player, if you're the DM, are paralyzed with indecision between your choices, trying to figure out how to do exactly what you want to do. If so, the odds are you aren't asking this one question. What are you trying to accomplish? But even if you are using this powerful question, there are a number of steps, 5 of them in fact, that can take this question from useful to game-changing. My name is Timothy, though some people do call me Tim. Welcome to the channel, where I believe that something as simple as one question can change your game of D&D, and where I want to discover all of these for myself and then share them with everyone else. So before we unwrap the framework that elevates this question to a game changer, let's talk about why this question is so powerful. Imagine the most creative player at your table. It might even be you. Sometimes they can really struggle with all the rules in tabletop RPGs. Cool ideas come easily, but knowing if it's possible in the exact situation or by the rules, that's hard. And so the question-a-thon begins. Is there a chandelier? Who's underneath it right now? Did you already like and subscribe to this video and channel? And so on and so forth. What are you trying to accomplish as a DM to the player cuts through the noise? Because one player might be hoping to use that chandelier to swing in and make a grand entrance, while another one might be hoping to drop it down so that the metal barrel out of ring that's imagined in their mind wraps around the ogre's arms and restrains him. And someone else just wants to deal more damage by dropping a chandelier than they'd be able to do by swinging their sword. Until you know the end goal, you're stuck answering individual questions, and each individual question that you answer has the chance of ruining that idea in the player's mind, killing the idea before the DM even knows what it is. As a player, you can skip the noise and the chance of an accidental denial, also using this question. Just ask yourself. And then when you know what you're trying to accomplish, you ask, is there a way that I could do this? The results are amazing, and if you only did this, you'd be doing great. But if you remember a few extra principles, you can make that question even more game-changing. The first step is to recognize the signs. As a player, this just means getting excited about a cool idea. As a DM, it's a little more tricky. Look for questions that seem out of place or are specifically very niche, like someone asking about the placement of previously mentioned room details or about a detail on the map while in the middle of combat. Sometimes the first real sign is the second question, because repeated questions are a great sign that your player might have something on their mind beyond the answer to that individual question. If someone has to clarify 2 or more things before they can make a decision, then there could be a deeper motive. You can also ask the question when somebody is mulling over their character sheet or deep in the books trying to find something. Once you've recognized a need, ask. That's step 2. Make sure to ask in a way that makes clear your desire to help, and be flexible about the answer that comes. This goes a long way to establishing trust and creating a style that works for your table and your players. As a player, having asked yourself of this question and then getting ready to deliver it to the DM as a question of, can I do this? You can earn some bonus points. And you do that by adding the follow-up statement of, I was thinking that maybe I could accomplish this by, and then tell them what skill or spell or idea you have as to how this could make sense. If you don't have any, that's okay. Let your DM guide you and do the best you can together. Step 3 is to evaluate the answer. And it can be dangerous to skip this step. In our desire to please, DMs can sometimes be too willing to bend the rules and end up with a game that favors creativity at the cost of predictability. And good games thrive on predictable outcomes. That's why we have rules, and how we get immersive play. But we can also be too inflexible. The rules can't cover every situation, at least not how they're written in the books. That's why we have a dungeon master.
Crossing across the outskirts.
It's a balancing act, and it's a personal preference thing at each table. So you're gonna have to find your own style that works. Regardless, take a moment to think about if this outcome seems reasonable, could be accomplished within the rules, or is going to require some rules bending. And do this before you move forward. Players, you'll save a lot of time if you do this before the second step, but you'll also do it after the fourth, because step 4 is to respond. Typically, that'll come in one of two forms. Either you'll say yes and outline how the action could be pulled off, or you'll say no. Telling people no in D&D gets a bad rap. But sometimes it just needs a little extra but. No, not that kind of but. Because no but is a great way to keep the good times moving forward even when you're not allowing something that seems unreasonable. Essentially, you say no to the idea, but then you give them an idea that is more in line with what you feel is reasonable. As a player, whether you're told yes or no, hopefully you'll be given options to weigh. Either a potential cost to your proposed action, or an alternative action that you could take that's more in line with what your DM agrees to. You can also make a counteroffer here, but be aware that the tendency to dicker back and forth is just as time-consuming and potentially damaging to the game as asking all those questions in the first place. This is supposed to speed things up, not slow it down. Finally, step 5 is a DM-only step, but it is the secret sauce to engaged and excited players. But it needs to be used sparingly, and that is to exceed your players' expectations. Give them a fair idea of what their idea might accomplish. Then find a way to lean into it to make it even more impactful or exciting than your original response. Double down on your yes answer, or add extra oomph to the consolation prize option that you offered when you said no, but. With that one question in this simple framework, you can turn a boring series of questions that's slowly bleeding away tension into an opportunity to inject some dynamism and excitement into your game, and can lead to some of your most talked about escapades. Speaking of escapades, hopefully you already liked and subscribed. It really helps get the message out so that we can all improve our games of Dungeons & Dragons together. For now, check out what my cats have been up to while you select your next video. I'll see you there.
What you want? You want some lovage?
You will accept my love, Grapple Bard.